don't make this thing too plenty.
Yes, we're ready. Good morning and welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV, reaching you from the heart of Lagos. I am Kende Boduri.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
Right, so it is a beautiful day to stay informed and inspired. We will begin with the newspaper review. Right after that, we will dive into our main conversation for the day. Do not forget to join the conversation, drop your comments, and do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So to dissect this with us, we have Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. He is a barrister and also a public affairs analyst. You're welcome.
Good morning, Barrister, and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much for your time, as always. So let's kickstart our affairs this morning with the Vanguard newspaper. And we have the big story, Ibom Air fracas. Comfort begins live at Kirikiri. NBA waits in.
Okay, we also have Atiku. ADC condemns Tambuwa's arrest, say EFCC now political too.
And also on the top strip, you have 2027. I won't deny Tinubu. We have been friends for 22 years, and that's coming from Professor Chukwu Masoludo, Executive Governor, Anambra State.
Yeah, we also have 16 inmate attack warders, breach Kirikiri Prison, 7 rearrested.
And also on the bottom strip, Showore leads a protest to NYSC headquarters over unjust treatment of core member Ushie Ogwomaye.
That's true. So we also have NMA raises alarm over mental health crisis among doctors.
Okay, and the last story we have here, VP Shatima to investors, it's time to invest in Nigeria. Barrister, let's take a look at the burning issue here, especially with the ADC. Atiku Abubakar, LDC, condemns Tambuwa's arrest, says EFCC now a political tool. Barrister, knowing the reason EFCC was created or formed by Olusegun Obasanjo, it is under the coffers of the federal government and presided over by the president of Nigeria. Do you really think that the EFCC is a political tool, or they are doing the job they've been called out to do?
No, it's not a straightforward answer because it depends. Circumstances sometimes show that toes that line, and sometimes it appears they're trying to work. Because I think in my own appraisal, generally I've seen them as being used as tools sometimes, most times, to pursue political opponents.
All right. Are you still there, Barrister?
Yeah, I'm with you. I said for me, generally,
okay.
I am of the view that most time they appear to work like somebody who's working to achieve a particular objective. I'm not saying they don't have the power to investigate. I'm not saying they don't have the power to invite. But most times, the way they invite people and the way the kind of people they invite make it look like they are being selective. If you look at the situation on ground, you know that if they tell you that most of the governors, former governors, former senators, majority of them have questions to answer. Especially if I look at the former governor of Sokoto State.
Yes.
Before he became a minister, he was the same EFCC. They were looking for him. They had allegation of corruption against on his neck. Our Senate president today, before he became a Senate president, there are allegations of corrupt malpractice against him that they are investigating. Since they became a minister and they became a Senate president respectively, there was no any investigation thereafter again. They were not called again. So that is to suggest that when you are in a particular position in Nigeria, you seem to be like you are above the law, and they make it look like selective justice. So as far as I'm concerned, Tambuwa, yes, I'm not saying he's guilty or the allegation was right or wrong, or the FCC no power to invite him. or invite him. What happened thereafter will tell me whether or not that investigation was genuinely, that invitation was genuine, or was it an attempt to play a political game.
All right, beautiful.
Bearing in mind that the former governor of Delta State had a similar invitation from FCC or
EFCC.
I can't remember.
EFCC.
He had an invitation, and 3 months thereafter, he did come to APC. I'm not hearing anything regarding that allegation of he was alleged to have taken trillions of naira or so.
Yes,
I can't remember.
But
since the day, the case was being handled like it's on fire. That if this thing did not happen, something will happen. They did come to APC, and since that time, I've not been hearing anything about that. So if people say no, they should face their case. If they have allegations, they should not put politics into it. If things are played like politics, you must also identify that. For me, selective justice creates this kind of mindset. When you have a situation whereby there are so many people that have been alleged and they belong to a particular sector or a particular side, and they are not being taken, somebody will come and say, is Yahya Bello not a member of APC? Is he not being prosecuted? That will happen. I'm not saying nobody from APC will be prosecuted, but I tell you, anybody that's been prosecuted as a member of a ruling party, it probably because it's against the authority, or probably there's a score they want to take, or they want to make him fall or agree to a certain thing. You can see Yahya Bello is not a gentleman now. He's now cooperating with the government. Before now, he was like anti-government. Before when he was now arrested and he's not being pursued, he became a gentleman and he's now cooperating and he's now working with the government. So for me, even though they are doing their job, they must do the job in a way that they will not suggest that they are working for a particular purpose.
All right, very true, Barrister. EFCC has been there for EFCC has been there for a very long time. The case of selective justice is a perennial issue with the EFCC. It's written all over the place. Rather than pursue those who have siphoned the Nigeria, all they focused on issues that are really not so very important. But Barrister, let's take a look at another story.
No, they will tell you. No, Henry, they will tell you the allegation against Tambuwa is also about siphoning our money. The allegation against him. So I'm not saying that they have an allegation. They can call anybody. But what I'm saying is that to it look like only certain people are being called is what is my own worry. They can call anybody. They can investigate anybody. They can ask questions from anybody. But they must be sure that they are not doing so for a particular purpose. That's my call.
All right, beautiful. Let's look at the other story on the NYC, the NYC young girl.
For that, we have still on Vanguard. We have, that's the VP.
Yeah, no. Showeret leads protest to NYSC headquarters over unjust treatment of core member Oshe Ogwomaye. Yes. I have a question for Barrister on that.
Yes, so Barrister, in fact, I feel this story is really a follow-up story because we've not even gotten a tangible solution for this particular story. And I think we even still said this on Monday. So, Barrister Adetunji, so what do you think can be done on this particular story?
Yeah, you see, because you don't have trust and confidence in our system, is the reason why you are seeing all this. We have been told it's not only that there are other members of the what's it called of the
NYC
of the what's it called NYC that have been sanctioned in the same manner. But people believe that it was just a mere bring together, what they call it. They just try to do that for other people just to cover up, and then people believe that the target was that lady simply because he spoke out. We were told that because he spoke out is why this is happening. But they must have to do a proper investigation, give us proper detail and transparency report for us to know that actually that it was not being it was not a kind of attempt to get back to her for speaking out. And as speaking out has given NYC more improvement in terms of the corpers that their salary have been increased to 70,000 or 75,000. unfortunately, you will not see most of the members who benefited supporting her or standing by her to say, look, see what she did. And anyway, the FCC are saying that is not the case. There is a general punishment for people who have committed one infraction or the other. But you see, I am a small boy, but I have a little experience. Not even a little. I have a wide experience when it comes to the way things are done sometimes. I have seen a situation whereby a government target to demolish a particular shop somewhere let's say somewhere far away from a particular place. The target is that particular area, but they did not start from that area. They started from other area, so that it won't look like it's an isolated case. So when they tried to do all those things, and they eventually got to the place they targeted, and carry out the demolition. But people they will not. When people ask questions, they will say, "No, it's not only him. They will have so many other people have been affected." But I know at that time that it was not everybody. It was just because it was targeted at that particular person, but not to look like it was for everybody. They decided to start somewhere so that they will say it's general. So I know the kind of thing within our country. So I think genuinely we need to be transparent. We need to be accountability, and people should not be punished for speaking out. Speaking out is a fundamental right. Yeah. In as much as you are not committing crime in that area, there's no crime in speaking out. And when you speak out against the government, against what the government is not doing right, you are a patriotic citizen. It means that it's not only when you support government policy or when you speak in favor of government that you are a patriotic citizen. When you also criticize government, when you bring out issues from a government, what government is not doing or what they are not doing right, you are also a patriotic citizen because you are also looking for the development of the country. So let's be transparent. Let those in authority do the right thing and not victimize anybody for speaking out or for saying anything. So I just hope that punishment was not because she spoke up.
Very true, Barrister. And a follow-up to that particular story, that leads us to another story, and that is still on the issue of speaking out and people becoming scared that they might be victimized. Another story, 2027. I wouldn't deny Tinubu. We have been friends for 22 years, and that's Soludo. This is coming at a time when the election in Anambra State will be coming up for November. Yeah. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu already had told the APC candidate, go and bring back the state to me. Soludo is still with the APGA. All of this, Tinubu is my friend. Is it not still victimizing the man such that he won't say something that would spill hard on him?
No, it's not victimizing the man. It's an attempt by a politician to curry favor because everybody in Nigeria today, but most politicians believe today in Nigeria that once you are not aligned with the president, you may likely not win the election. That is their mental thinking, and that is why you see everybody aligned with the president, not because they love the country, not because the president they believe the president is doing well or he has achieved so much, but because of their own personal interest. Soludo is doing that probably because he believes that he will only lose election if the federal government is not supporting him or if the government wants to work against it. Because we all know, except for deceiving ourselves, in our country today, our election is not to an extent not free and fair. Because those who are supposed to even provide the free atmosphere are always taking side. The security agencies who are supposed to ensure safety of everybody and freeness of that election will seem to be working for people, certain people. It need not be government in power. It could be anybody. Once they have a favor of that person, they go with him. So they believe that, bearing in mind what happened in those states and on those states, some of them believe that it was because of the federal might. That was why those people that lost the election. So to avoid that federal might is the reason why you see them lobbying the president and using the name of the president. And that's why you even see in the Sun State a governor that's comfortable in his party trying to begging to decamp to another party, a ruling party, simply because they're thinking being a ruling party secures give you a security to win a election. That's just the reason. It's not about liking the president. It's not about what the president is doing that they believe is doing well or whatever. It's just for their own personal gain and benefits.
All right, beautiful. Let's move to the Guardian newspaper right about now. And we have the big story still. Outrage over Ibom Air incident as IG orders KWAM 1's probe. What other story do we have there?
Okay, we have Wadada Soludo throw waits behind Tinubu for 2027.
And Lagos moves to regulate rent, curb abuse with new tenancy bill.
We also have NCAA decries low drug supply personnel for 8,000 inmates with health needs.
Barrister, let's take a look at this matter. Reps are pushing to make appeal court final judge in Goba poll disputes. Do you think this would solve the problem of politicians waiting for the elections to be over before they proceed to the court, and hopefully this would reduce the tendency for some governors becoming Supreme Court governors? We have for Hope Uzodinma of Imo State now. Okwebolo is being referred to as Supreme Court governor. Do you think this would mitigate these tendencies?
And who tells you that once if he stops at Court of Appeal, some governor will not be referred to as Court of Appeal governor? It's all about that's the truth, because if it ends at the Court of Appeal, that means the decision of the Court of Appeal will determine who becomes the governor or whoever or senator or whatever. So what is the possibility that those people who said the cases were determined by the Court of Appeal will not be called Court of Appeal senator or Court of Appeal? So you see that we should system. We should do our system in a way that people have confidence in it. There is no confidence in the system, and I don't even I also have my doubt, my concern, because if you look at the Court of Appeal that we're talking about now, if cases were to stop at Court of Appeal before 2023, they have today. You can see that in Plateau State, some of the members of the of the PDP that won election have been relieved of posts. Yes. And only the governor remains.
Very well.
And those who are relieved of the election were relieved of their position because of the same factor that brought in back the governor into office. So my worry is that it appears the Court of Appeal is not showing enough that they have the capacity, or people should have confidence that they can also do much. Even Supreme Court too, they have their own. It's not as if they are also perfect, but at least we have taken them to be defined, and sometimes we see their own as even more thorough than those of the other. So all the effort are geared towards ensuring that, look, we don't spend more time in court, and that court cases are dispensed of before swearing in. The people have been complaining that after you swear somebody in, and that person will now be using government money to pursue a private case, and that's probably they are thinking in that regard. Look, let's change this situation where people will have been somebody will have been sworn in as governor or president or state or whatever, and thereafter the matter will still continue in court. But the point is that if we have free and fair election, we won't see most of these cases in court. It's because the election is not fair and the system is not even fair. Some people don't even have a case. They believe that, let me try court, anything can happen. Because if they tell me that the governor of Imo State has gone to court at that time when he went to court, I would say, somebody who came forth. How can he be going to court? What does he intend to achieve? But today is the governor from number 4 to number 1. So anything can happen in Nigeria, and that's why you see most politicians, no matter what the result is, you will see somebody who score 1,000 as against, like say 200,000, and he will still go to court and say he's challenging the results because he believes anything can happen along the line. So they believe that it's not about the law; it's about what step you can take and who you know. And these were confirmed by a senator who openly declared or apologized to his wife for barging into her privacy. He said it openly. It's not these are not my thinking. He said it that he helped his colleague where they're having their cases in court through his wife. So those are the issues we're talking about. The confidence is not there. We need to bring back the confidence, and until that confidence is there, there will be little cases in court. The elections should be fair and should be seen as free and fair. If it's not seen as free and fair, you see more cases in court. And if you think that anything can go, anything goes, it's what happened in our system. You see more people going to court, even though they don't have a case. They want to try their luck and see whether or not something can happen along the line, and they can bring them back to office.
All right, beautiful. You have a follow-up question?
Yes. From what you said, you talked about the steps. So, what steps can be input to have a free and fair election?
It's for us to follow the law the way it should be followed. It's for the INEC to be impartial. In other words, but I doubt if that can happen in our country. I say I doubt in the sense that, look, if you look at most of the people appointed as INEC commissioners and INEC officers, majority of them are carrying members of the party or sympathizers of the party, and you want that person to conduct election that will be free and fair. That is the issue. The issue is that people will even put in charge of conducting this election are people who have a sentiment, who are partial, who are partial to an extent before being elected, who are associated with people's government. So that is the one way. INEC should be made to be free of people who have a political affiliation or political support from somewhere. We should also not try to align with the law and follow what the law says. And the police officer, the police security agents who are supposed to provide security during election should not work in a way that will be disservice to other party or one party or the other party. So if we are able to do this, no matter what it is, when people talk and say our law, the electoral law must be amended. Yes, I agree that the electoral act is not perfect. But if we even implement the electoral act the way it is today, 50%, free and fair results, they unfortunately will not because of certain influence or sentiment. Until we have that a situation whereby things will be done properly, a situation whereby people believe that law will take its course, and then no, there won't be any influence, there won't be any sentiment or partiality on the part of those who are supposed to run the election. Then we will likely get the adequate result. We must the election must be transparent. In other words, when you are doing the collation, everybody must see it. They don't like the last election where we are doing there is a glitch. You have a 3 election conducted at the same time, going through the same process, and 2 are able to go through, and 1 was not able to go through. Should that not would that not cause a concern? It's a concern, and today nobody has even come to explain what exactly the glitch was about. So until we have a situation whereby things are free and people are free to do the right thing, then we may not be able to get it right.
Very true, Barrister. Lastly, just before we leave for today, Lagos moves to regulate rent, curb abuse with a new tenancy bill. We operate a free market economy where, as a landlord, no government, no law, no legislation can make me reduce my rent or make me do what they want. It's my house. I built it with my money. I pay land use charge. All right. So do you think all of this would work in a city like Lagos?
Government determining the rent to be paid.
Yes.
I think the government can give a fair idea of the fee payable in particular area, in certain area. But the problem I have is that even the government itself, the house they are building, how much do they collect? How much do they charge? And do they even have a house to so if you have a government that have enough, or not even enough, at least we have a reasonable accommodation that people can take at a low price in all areas. People will be forced, those who are owners of property will be forced to reduce their, also compete and reduce their own price. But we don't have, even the one the government is building, if they tell you the amount they are building it, you will say, government of property. So that's what people are following. So the government has not done the right thing to be in a position to force anybody to say, look, this is the figure you must collect. We have so many of them who are in government today, who are owners of property, who are taking similar rents, higher rents in their houses. So how could they now come and say they are it's going to be difficult? I'm telling you, they can make law, the enforcement will be difficult. And I don't, if the law is made, and when you know that the enforcement will not be possible, if you are just playing to the gallery, as far as I'm concerned. So the problem is about enforcement, not about the law itself. If they make the law, how will they be enforced? I remember former Governor Fashola made a law that 1 year rent should be paid, and nobody should pay more than 1 year rent. People are collecting 2 years rent or more than, even more than that, and they tell you go and rent a government house. You want a 1 year. This is what I want to collect. If you want to collect, go. And sometimes there's no evidence to back it up that he was asking for 2 years rent. So you have to go and then do for elsewhere. But if you are forced and you don't have any other option again, you'll be forced to take it. So my worry is about enforcement, not about the law itself.
Very true. You notice all those Jakonde estates.
Yes.
You know, it's scattered all over the place. Right now, when you go to some of those places, they are looking more like police barracks. You know, and government has not come to replace some of these things. And the ones government have come to replace with are the ones they virtually sell to themselves for millions of naira, which ends up in the hands of people like them. And the question is, how would someone who has little to nothing survive in a city center like Lagos? That's the reason why you see lots of the local natives right now are moving back to Ogun State, Songo, Mowe. These are people who were people who were mostly living in the city center. But because most of them can't afford rent, and some of them who owns properties, because of issues, challenges, economic problems, they sell off their lands to people that can buy and move back to the village. And it's really very, very bad. And
what you call village, if they tell you, Henry, where you call village, if they tell you how much they pay as rent, you'll be surprised. You will say, this rent, it's also high in those areas because they look at the city. So for me, it's everywhere, whether city, whether village or wherever. The price of everything that costs are very expensive. In my town in Ilorin, that I always think it's moderate to an extent. I was asking somebody to look for somebody was looking for a standalone 5-bedroom duplex. Ilorin, it's 5 million naira.
Really?
I say, how can that happen in Ilorin?
Wow.
Rent. He said 5 million naira. I say, how can that be possible? How can that happen? So, copying everywhere. And what happened in Lagos, people will want to copy and paste it, notwithstanding the environment. So, and unfortunately, the government are not doing enough to force those who are landowners or property owners to reduce their price. So, if they make any law to that effect, yes, the law will be there, but how do we enforce it? That is the question to be asked.
Very true. All right, I think we'll just have to leave it for now.
Okay.
Because of the want of time, you wanted to?
Yes, I wanted to say something about this land issue because this land issue is really disturbing, especially in Lagos. How will I rent a one-room apartment, a self-con?
Yes.
You know, like with a million naira or even 950. And so, do you know what they do? What they do is that they even have their own extra court on it.
Okay.
Because I think there was an issue that happened.
Okay, so they serve as the agents, isn't it?
Apart from the agents,
the landowners, and they are equally the agents.
The agents also have another agent that will collect extra fee, and you begin to wonder, okay, if I am paying this huge amount for this house, then why am I having to get to pay another extra? And they will not tell you. They will do it behind closed doors.
Well, it's a very big issue, and
so
we can go on and on this particular matter.
If you want to take self-contained in my estate, you have to get like 2.5 or 3 million.
Wow.
For you to be able to get it self-contained.
Imagine. So he was talking about in his estate. Well, it's a very big problem, and while we do all of this, the minimum wage still stands at 30,000 naira for some places, for some states. It's 70,000 naira, and the question is, how would someone who earns 70,000, pay for a rent of close to $1 million plus? It's a very big issue.
You're telling me to save up for that money. I'm not understanding.
Subsidy is gone. Devaluation of the naira is some of the reasons why we are in this mess. But when will the turn? Barrister will still be here. Federal government drops charges against Ibom Air passenger slashes KWAM wants a ban after stakeholders talk. It's still Enterprise on morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, can we continue, please? David, Barrister is frozen from my own end here. Yeah?
Give me.
If you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today, where we have it that the federal government has ordered the withdrawal of the case against Comfort Emmanson, the Ibom Air passenger detained after an onboard incident in August 10, 2025. Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo announced that Ibom Air dropped its complaint, allowing police to begin her release process from Kirikiri Prison.
Okay, so the Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, also agreed to lift our lifetime flight ban, citing a remorse during questioning. In a separate case, Fuji musician Wasiu Ayinde Marshal will see his one-year flight ban reduced to 1 month, following talks with aviation stakeholders.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, will also drop criminal complaints against him. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, plans to engage KWAM in public campaign to promote airport security awareness.
Okay, we also have additionally pilots involved in the KWAM incidents, Captain Oluronti Ogoyi and First Minister Officer Ivan Oloba will have their licenses reinstated after serving a 1-month suspension and completing a mandatory professional review.
Keyamo emphasized the shared responsibility between passengers and staff in such incidents and announced upcoming training for aviation personnel on conflict de-escalation. We still have Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for hanging on.
Thank you, Barrister.
Thank you so very much, Barrister. You're still there with us, isn't it?
Thank you for having me.
All right, okay. Beautiful. Barrister, there we have it. Lots of things have gone down. Unfortunately, our newspaper headlines didn't see this coming, because if you take a look at the front pages of the newspaper, I would love to believe they had printed the copies of the newspaper before this breaking news, which would have made the headline. Unfortunately, there we have it right now. What's your take on all of this? No victor, no vanquish, isn't it, Barrister?
Should we be looking at it in that way? I think we are polarizing our law simply because of sentiment and simply because of influence. I tell you, the Comfort is enjoying those things you mentioned that they want to do simply because of the final one case was treated. They are trying to look for a balance and a soft landing for KWAM as well, because as it is now, if they have to go ahead with the Comfort's case in court, people will ask questions: why is KWAM not in court? People will ask questions: why is Senator Wasiu Ayinde not in court? So in order to balance that situation and to give them a soft landing, they want to extend that gesture, that particular privilege to Comfort, and that is the benefit she's enjoying today now. She's enjoying that benefit because similar thing happened, have been done by celebrities and the VIP. And even from the report I even gathered, we have been told that KWAM will now be engaged to work for what's it called? Nigerian industry, yes. As a publicity on how to behave. So for me, it's still been benefiting from committing crime. As far as I'm concerned, you see, in Nigeria, the way we handle issues sometimes, rather than follow the law and let people who have been alleged of offense face the consequences of what they have done, and if they are found, they take it. If they are released, they go. What we'll do is to look for soft landing, and similar thing or next tomorrow, and somebody else will be treated differently, and then the question will arise: why is my own different? Why is it like this? If similar thing happen from somebody else tomorrow that is not even KWAM, that's from a particular area, people will say, it's because it's from this area, or it's because it's this and that. For me, those things you have said are not proper. What I expect them to do is to have done proper investigation of both cases, and whichever that is not proper. In other words, whichever they believe that there's a case to answer, they take the proper step against them. The question regarding Comfort is that the way and manner the case was handled suggests foul play or not. It's not in line with the due process. You cannot be an accused, and the report I'm getting, I don't know whether people are reporting wrongly. Ibom Air be the one that took her to court? Are they police? Are they Ministry of Justice? Because I know in criminal cases, particularly in Lagos, individual cannot institute case against another person. I'm talking about criminal case here.
Okay.
You cannot, as an individual, go to court to institute a criminal case against any other person. You must be it must be the police or the Ministry of Justice that will take that step. So if they are telling me Ibom Air was the one who took her to court, I don't understand how it happened, and I don't understand under the law it happened. At best, Ibom Air can be a complainant. They will complain to the police, and the police will do investigation. And after the investigation, they are satisfied that offense has been committed. They charge her to court. But in this case, we have been told, even NCAA is saying it, that it's not them. It's Ibom Air that took her to court. That KWAM was not taken to court because what's it called? Falujet did not take her to court, take him to court. It is not within the power of Falujet to take people who have committed crime to court. It is not within the power of anybody as an individual, especially in Lagos State, to take criminal action against anybody. As best you can complain. So for me, I will not celebrate these positions. I will not celebrate the fact that they are saying. I will celebrate the fact that this comfort of a girl will be given a bail because she has been not well treated in the way it happened. She has no business in being in custody for now. I think because as far as I'm concerned, no investigation has been conducted. People cannot tell me. We have not seen video of what happened before those viral video that we are seeing, the trending one. People have not seen another video. What happened before that happened? What caused the provocation? How did it happen? People have already concluded that she's unruly. I don't know how they come to that conclusion. I don't know whether they saw the event before that, whatever. Even the one we saw. I saw a video where she was asking that she be allowed to go out. How can you block a passenger from going out from disembarking? If you allow her to disembark, and then thereafter you are pushing her out, you are dragging her out. What does that correlate? Somebody who is begging that allow me go, and then thereafter will not be somebody that will be carried. So something must be happening. Even if you believe that somebody has committed an infraction and there's a need for her to be arrested, you allow her to go down from the aircraft, and then the police authority or security authority agency will take a step from that point. They can even uncover her and take her away from that side. Not that you keep her in the craft, you will not allow her go down. Then you frustrate her, you remove her wig, allegedly, you do all sorts to her, you frustrate her, and then you want to embarrass her, you will expect her not to react at all, just to fold her hands and say, I'm a gentle girl. It will not happen. Those reactions we saw, that when they say it's a slap, I think it's a matter of a reaction to attack on her. And under our law, if you are being attacked, you have the right to defend yourself. So probably what we saw and what we call unruly behavior is a response to what happened to her. So in that regard, I will not say, even though that's my opinion, that's not I expect the police to do more investigation on this before taking steps, before taking that to court. I'm even imagine what evidence will be taken to court thereafter. That's why you see thereafter they won't be the end of the case will not favor the government, and the people will come and say the court have taken money. Our legal system is very fraudulent. Even if they take Wasiu Ayinde to court in that manner, they will lose the case because they did not do proper investigation, they did not do proper collation of evidence. And they just went to court just to go and detain somebody. It's not done. I think the girl has been unfairly treated, and I think except he has a commitment, she deserves to sue them for breach of fundamental right and for other degrading treatment and for molestation and other acts. So for me, there is a double standard in what has happened, and that double standard is what they are trying to cover by saying, okay, she will go, Alhaji Wasiu will also go, this will happen, this will not happen, we'll release the license. You seize a license of a pilot when you have not even done investigation. That's an assumption that they are guilty. As far as I'm concerned. That's an assumption that you have convicted them. That's the meaning. For 6 months, you are not even saying, bring your license, don't fly till we are trying to confirm something. You just bring a decision, say for 6 months you will not fly and you will not work again. Your license has been seized. That means although I'm not saying, I'm not sitting here and saying they do well or they not do well. I'm not saying the pilot did well by trying to run down our celebrity who is trying to prove that she has that power to hold a flight, a moving flight. So as far as I'm concerned, the whole case was messed up, and no matter what they do now, it's an encouragement for other people to commit crime. That's the way I see it. When people commit crime and you don't punish them, and you come back and say you pardon them, or you say you want them, or you want to make them ambassador, so that they will preach to people, then you are saying, okay, go and commit more crime, you get more job to work, you get more work to do. And then for government, you know when you are doing work for government, no matter how it is, whether even it's pro bono, you will get something from it.
Definitely, he will be paid. Don't be surprised when one might even start giving them the budget that they have to pay for his time.
That's true.
Of course, he will have to engage his boys, and they will collect money. Would that be done for free? If somebody has been alleged of have committed crime, and you say because of the way things are, you want to make him to be an ambassador, to start singing about or educating people about protocol, this and that, you are rewarding him for bad behavior. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. He has no business. He has no business from being asked to go. See, he has to face the law. When we make people face the law, and they go through the rigors of a trial or the stress, even if it's not convicted, some of them will not again do it again. The stress of going from one court to another is even enough to make people somebody feel what's it called, to affect your mental health. So if you are going from one court to another, you are moving from one place to another, you have no freedom to travel to anywhere because you are thinking you have a case to handle, or you cannot even concentrate. That is enough to distract you. So if you now say go free just because you have shown you have apologized, so let's now go to Kirikiri and bring other people out and ask them whether they will not apologize so that they will go free. So for me, the way our criminal system, justice system is being handled, is not helping our situation, and it's making it look like some fair treatment for everybody that have been alleged of any one crime or other.
Fair treatment indeed, because I won't even be surprised if K1 The Ultimate goes to the studio and release an album on this particular story, and he might even go into a comparison of the situation.
Okay,
yeah, to apologize. To apologize. He has done something. Okay. He has done something.
That's
money again from that.
Singing in parables, and I feel that this comfort issue.
You make people feel above the law, because he will not say nothing has happened to him, and then the other people that are bigger also will do the same thing. See, nothing happened to Senator Oshiomhole, and people are even justifying his act. They were saying they were trying, other than address the main issue, they were bringing in another issue. The aircraft are cheating us. They are always doing that. They are this and that. They did not talk about somebody who came and they disrupt public service or public peace, and they were making it look like somebody has come to commit crime. I think we are encouraging criminality in crime in this country by the way and manner we handle it.
But let's take a look at the Keyamo asking that people who work with the aviation industry and ecosystem should go into training on the escalation of issues. Barrister, you are a frequent flyer, and sometimes some Nigerians, sometimes when you fly and you see their behavior, I do not know, like experiences I have had, you see a situation where someone is flying, a domestic flight, not even international flight, and they are turning the airport to become a studio where they are shooting, they are creating skits, they are creating content. And it is, you see some of these things and you ask yourself, what's wrong with these people? So the question is, while we train our people in the ecosystem on how to de-escalate, what have you got to say about we as Nigerians? We abuse some of this opportunity. Someone is on flight and is taking pictures and taking selfies and making all sorts of videos. What's your take on this particular matter, please?
If somebody is on board and is taking picture and video and is not disturbing anybody, how does that affect me?
So don't you think Yeah, don't you think, because the rules of, because we're talking about rules of engagement here, you're right, and this is some of the reasons why a Comfort got into all of this, because she was asked to put down her phone.
Yes.
She refused, and it's because of all this wanting to connect. She's a content creator.
So she wanted to create.
She's a content creator.
Journey,
so these are some of those things.
Journey.
Listen. Is there any rule of engagement that says while the flight has not started moving, you cannot use your phone? The only thing they will say is that when they are about moving, they will tell you to off your phone or even put it in flight mode. And that what the report we got was that this girl even put her phone in flight mode. But the lady was insisting that she must off her phone, that she must off it, that she doesn't want that flight mode. It's not within her. So for me, when you say somebody is creating content and it's not disturbing you, the content is creating does not affect your own life. If you are affected by content that's been created, you have the right to take steps against that person. Not for you to slap that person or to even harass that person. It's for you to take proper steps. If you know what to do, go to court. That's how a country is run. If people who are creating content at the airport or you are complaining of, some of them will not just do that without authority, without permission. So who are those giving them permission? Who are those giving them authority? And if I'm on board and somebody is taking doing that skit or whatever, like I said, as long as I'm not affected, as long as it's not disturbing my peace, no offense has been committed. And if I feel that my peace has been disturbed, I have the right to go to court or take steps against that person and ask for whatever. So you cannot say somebody cannot do anything that is not illegal. I don't know, except when even at the point, are you aware that at the point when you are on board and the flight is at the point, you are free to use your phone and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So it's not automatic. It's only when they want to move and they want to land that you are advised to off your phone or put it in a flight mode. So if once the plane stabilizes, you are free to use your phone. Once the seat belt sign is put off, you are free to use your phone and do whatever you want to do with it. So, but if you are doing it and you are disturbing other people, then that could be a case. But if you are not disturbing other people, you are sitting on your seat and you are doing whatever you are recording without anybody being affected. But if you are recording people without their consent and you are putting them out, they can take steps against you. That is only. So that's their own problem. It's not for you to say why are they doing scripts. That's their job. That's their own concern. It's not your concern. But it's as long as they're not disturbing you, or they're not putting you in a discomfort.
Well, Barrister is making it look like the truth of the matter is you can vouch for yourself because you understand civility. You understand what it means to respect yourself, right, in a particular environment you find yourself. But there are people that would never respect themselves, would equally not respect people around there, and will do some sort of things that you ask yourself, come on, did this person go through the 4 walls of school to understand what he should do in a particular place and what they should not do? Of course, you are very right, Barrister. We all have the freedom to do whatever it is you were supposed to do. But you understand that aviation is a very sensitive matter. Some of these things have happened in here. It's been communicated in other parts of the world. I watched this particular video in the UK channel, Daily Mail, and the way they told that story, it really wasn't looking good for Nigeria. So what's your take on all of this? Knowing that what happens in Nigeria has effect in other parts of the world, and because the aviation ecosystem is very connected, people will begin to look at Nigeria's airspace like these people are not serious.
Eric, they are making it look like as if this happened only in Nigeria. We copy all these things from abroad. If you don't know, they pick up all these things you are talking about. The only thing that the way the government handled that one in the country is different from the way we handle our own. So, but the crime being committed or the alleged crime being committed here, it's not limited to our country yet. We have so many foreign incidents of such nature. The way manner is handled or to be handled by the authority is the difference that we have in this country. When it comes to VIP or VVIP or people who are connected, they treat it differently. If it happens to people who are not known or not collected, they will be treated differently. That's the problem here. Nobody, citizens all over the world want to commit crime. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure that they do the right thing. But what we lack in this country is the government doing the right thing or the authority doing the right thing. That's just the point. So it's not. Don't make it look like it's only in Nigeria that crime is being committed. Crime is being committed everywhere. And in fact, Nigeria is not an isolation. Our home may be the way it is, but it's not limited to our country. It's everywhere. But the way our manner we handle it is the problem.
Okay. Do you have a question for
yeah, so lastly, I have this question, sir. How can Nigeria now balance passenger rights with aviation security without eroding trust in the system? They should have
the problem is that balancing about evidence, about situation, circumstance and situation on ground. But most time what we see in the country is that we see one-sided story and everybody wrong with it. Even people who are, I think that should be intelligent to ask questions, they will not ask those questions. They will just run with everybody. They will join the bandwagon and start condemning what everybody is condemning. They will not even ask questions. How did we get to this point? What happened? Why that happened? What is the reason why that lady that was blocking her going out was blocking her? Does he have the right to block her? Does he have the right to hold her to ransom? That's what they call false imprisonment. If you don't know, that is false imprisonment. So does he have the right to do that? People will not ask questions on that. They will just pick one point. And some people are saying it's unruly. It's unruly. Why would she slap air hostesses? Why would the air hostesses embarrass her? Why would they treat her badly? Why would they remove her wig? Why would they talk to her anyhow? Why would they call her names? People will not ask those questions. They will just take one story, and then because somebody authority, you work with authority, that person must be right, and you must respect them, whatever they do. I'm not saying you should not respect people, but sometimes there are when you are, like I said, under our law, provocation. When you react based on provocation, it's a defense. You can self-defense. The defense in law. If you say I acted in that way to defend myself, they want to kill me. They nearly kill me, so I have to do that to rescue myself. So it's an excuse as well. So for me, the understanding the right of the passenger and the whatever is you see, these people who call crew in the they see themselves as a super human being. For me, I compare them to a conductor. The difference is that they are on here. That's the truth. That's the truth. The difference is they are on here. Why these people are on ground? They do that's what are they doing? It's not to take care of the passengers. What does the conductor? What does he do? Take care of passengers and call passengers in. So they see themselves as super human being. Once they work in that area, they see themselves as special, and then they see themselves as superstar because they work with airline or so. And that sometimes that enter into their head, and some of them behave as if they are super human being. So for me, those who are hostesses or whatever should behave well and know that look, they are serving people. They should customers that they say is what they say. Customer is
always right.
Customer right is to be respected. Yes. And whereas customer too should respect the right and of those people. Some of them also look down on them and see them as you are ordinary air hostess or whatever. They look down on them and try to rub it on them. So, and they also want to show that look, I'm not a superhuman being. I work here because I'm so they are proud of saying I work on here with the airline as a crew. But if you were to be on ground, they will not be able to say that. They will not be proud of it, probably because of the circumstance and the situation. So we should also respect them. So respect the God's respect in both ways. The one we see that in some instances, the respect are not there. Some people are ordinarily, some passengers are unruly. I'm not saying some passengers are not unruly. When they are unruly, there should be rule of engagement as a professional. There's a way to handle it. There's a way to do it. Why can't they call the security agency to be on standby? And as soon as she stepped down, they pick her. Why must she be held hostage inside the aircraft? What do we know that they were doing to her? Do you not see the way they handle her? A man handling a woman in that manner, touching where it should not be able, it's not touch freely. Especially that kind of a woman who sees herself as a very expensive commodity. Sorry for that adjective.
Yes.
So in that regard, we have to work. It to be both way. The customer, the client, the passenger, or whatever, to respect themselves. When we respect ourselves, then we'll get the good desired results.
Very true, Barrister. Finally, I'd love to ask you, have you had any experience with with airlines before, their conduct. What were the approach you took? And going forward, what do you think Nigerians should do going forward? Because we've had issues of cancellations. We've had issues of you get to boarding and they tell you boarding hour is 30 minutes to the time and they'll close up. And you get there a few minutes or seconds to the close and they tell you that they've closed simply because they've sold your ticket to someone else. So in that circumstance, what do you think is the best way to ensure that your right is guaranteed without behaving like Comfort?
I have not seen any incident inside the plane in that gotten me engaged with anybody. But outside the flight, there has been a issue similar to that of Mr. Wasiu Ayinde. I was to go to Abuja for a case, and since that day I've tried not to. I've tried to go to Abuja for a case, and a day before I booked my flight for 5 p.m. And on getting to the airport, they said the flight has been cancelled. That we have two options: either take our money or come back in the for the first flight in the morning. And I said, okay, let me come back let me risk it. Let me come back for the first flight in the morning. Risk it and said that even if I get to Abuja, I may not be able to get to court on time. That's what I mean by risking it. Let me just go there and take the LA flight, which they say is 6:45 or 7:15. I can't remember. Yeah. I got to the airport by 5:30. Do you know they say they close what's it called? They close counter. They don't allow me to board.
Really?
They did not allow me to board. I'm telling you, they did not allow me. I promised to take action against them, but unfortunately I did not do anything thereafter. And since that time I also made up my mind that once my flight is cancelled, I must take them to court. But unfortunately for us, in Nigeria, let me just leave them there. They don't let me disturb myself. That is the attitude. Even for me as a lawyer, if we have been taking them to court for this kind of a thing, this attitude will reduce. But unfortunately, we will just say, let's just give it, let's just forget it. Or especially if you are not even a lawyer, that you have to pay a lawyer to take those steps. You will just abandon it. Because if you come to me now and say you are not taking your flight, you make me miss your flight, and your flight ticket was let's say 100,000 naira, and I ask you to bring 500,000 naira to file a case, you just abandon it. What are you talking about? But in some other country, people don't care about the amount they will pay to prosecute their rights. But here we are more concerned about what is coming out from the case we want to prosecute. It's not about enforcing the rights. It's about what will be the benefits. What will I gain if I pursue this? So I'm bearing in mind that you will spend money. Somebody will just abandon it. So that the incidents are always there, particularly the issue of cancellation of a flight or the issue of postponement of flights, and thereafter cancel it. They are out there without even thinking of your reason why you are traveling. Probably you have a meeting. Probably you have a schedule that you want to go and conclude. They will not think of that. So unfortunately, that's the way it is in our country. We don't have the government authority that can give us that support. That even when you report, that they will take the right step. Except you have somebody who's who's influential. In my state, for instance, now we have only our major flight is one flight. That I'm aware that somebody has written petition against them. You know what the petition is? Because if you are traveling from my state to Abuja now, or from Ilorin to Abuja, or from Ilorin to Lagos, which is about 30 minutes or 45 minutes, 40 minutes flight, you will pay as high as 300,000 naira.
Wow.
Or 270. But not so and so, just for one way flight. So if you are going to Ilorin from Lagos and you are coming back, you must be preparing like 500, 600, or 700 to go and come back. And so the petition has been written that why is that too high in the Ilorin comparing the number of hours or minutes that it will take. So if you do that often, probably they will sit tight and do the right thing.
Very well, Barrister. Thank you so very much for your time. And as much as we blame lots of people, blame the airline carriers, the industry, and so many other people, I think we'll equally love to say congratulations to those who are running the industry. Nigeria's airspace is one of the safest, not just in Africa, but around the world. The last time we had issue of a very big one is decades ago, and that's because people who are handling it now are doing the best that they can to ensure that there's safety in the space, and all they're asking for is for all of these little, skirmishes here and there to be taken care of, so that we can have a robust, system and airspace. In Ghana, they lost their minister and 6 other people from helicopter crash. In one other country again, one of the African countries again, they equally lost someone because of the airspace that I think is not well taken care of. But in Nigeria, we hardly have issues like that, and that's because there are people on ground doing a fantastic job